Hello and welcome everyone. It is time to enter the Kumite. Remember, this is not a sport. You don't play fight.
What's up, fight fans? Today we're joined by Trent Soto. He has a fight coming up against Seth James at XKO 55 on February 18th. Trent Soto, thank you for coming in, man. How are you feeling right now leading up to the fight?
I'm feeling good. Finally not as sore as I was during the beginning, but, you know, we're making it 17 days now, so I'm excited.
Nice. It's been a good training camp, I bet. And you were saying, you know, you've been ready to just jump right in, almost impatient about it, right?
Yes, sir. Since the first year I
started. That's great, man. Thanks for coming in. We want to learn more about you, you know, this is yours and Seth James's professional MMA debut. So, you know, I'm excited to see what you got. So how long have you been training and what brought you into MMA?
So I've actually been training for 4 years now. So it was like back in 2018 when I got in. I want to say sometime in April. During that road, I've been I was struggling you know, with a steady place to stay. So I finally made my way all the way to Arlington. I was staying in Mesquite at the time. And that's when I came across this gym that I'm currently at now, working with Eric Flores and Jose Soto. And man, they've been taking care of me. They make everything so like understanding for me. Like we just, whenever you walk in somewhere and you just click, like that's the best feeling ever.
But, yeah, you definitely have to gel, you know, because it's a lot of information and, you know, philosophies and everything that's got to be, you know, like passed on and it's got to work too. So do you have any specific martial arts that you prefer or just feel natural to you?
No, man. The ones I really like, I would say, is really kind of my style is Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. But truthfully, man, I'm a big fan of like GSG's kind of style. So like I like to stay well rounded. So if I feel like I have a weakness somewhere, that's what I'm gonna work on. So I like to keep myself working like that. I try not to. I don't want to create too many weaknesses for myself, but I also don't want to use my strength too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely don't want any holes in your game. Not in MMA. You just can't have it. So you kind of already answered the question, but you know, like we got to give proper credit where credit's due. So where do you train and what do you think your team brings to the table that's special to them?
I train at the gym. We kind of split up inside, and I train in the Arlington Muay Thai, Lucio Silva side of the gym. We do more in the Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu, but I would say what's really going to be tough with my guys is we have a good little crew there, and we also have so many people that come from different places that have different styles. We're able to just kind of mix it up and, you know, figure out what works for us. Also, I have a lot of guys that's my size, and that's really hard to come by whenever you're a flyweight. Most time you're, you know, anybody 140 and up. So, yeah, it's really good to be at a place where I have a lot of training partners. And also I have such a knowledgeable coach where he likes to cross train a lot. So sometimes during the weekends we'll go do sparrings and stuff. So I get to meet a lot of great people.
Nice. Yeah. Training partners. So big. For sure. So do you have a job while you're getting your professional MMA career like off the ground? I believe you're a kickboxing instructor, right? And a children's boxing coach.
Yes, sir. That's true. So
nice.
George, we kind of sat down at a dinner table one day. My friend George Barron, he's the one that helps me run the business. It's called Pantego Fit. I sat at dinner table, man. I ran the idea to him, telling him I was kind of tired of all these fitness kickboxing classes that don't teach nothing. And I was like, I take over that and I can actually teach something. So, man, he came back to me, I think like the next month, and he was like, hey, I got the business name and everything. We want to start training. And my coach Eric Flores, he helped us get the room across from his room set up. So if it wasn't for these people putting my life where I ended up, then I wouldn't have all this. But
it's a great opportunity, you know, really immerse yourself in the world of martial arts. Yeah, that's awesome. That's very fortunate that you have, you know, positions like that. And it's good to see the starter kind of attitude, you know, like, dude, I'll start some shit. So does teaching help you learn more too? Because I know when I go over something, you know, and I teach it to someone else, I'm like, okay, I kind of just low key taught myself a little bit more about it. You know, does that help you learn more too?
Yes, sir, definitely. So a lot of times I'm actually on Instagram or YouTube, and I'm always like studying this stuff. And I come
Mhm.
across trainers like Damian Trainer or Liam Harrison and Dominique Cruz breakdowns or Robin Black breakdowns, and kind of the stuff I see on there, man. I just kind of go in there and I'll teach it to learn for myself. Or if there's something I learn, doing in live events or something I kind of put together, doing all the styles, and I'll teach them
Mhm.
that. But it keeps me always focusing on the fundamentals because I always have new people coming in. I don't really have any fighters. So, yeah, man, I always make sure I keep my damn hands up. That's for sure. That's
Yeah,
my,
that's a hard part to do with the head movement and the hands up. That's
yeah.
that's something. It's either head movement or hands up.
I got boxes style where they chopped his hand. I'm like, what are you doing? Yes,
So
sir.
you guys are both making your professional MMA debut. Do you know anything about James's style? And if so, how are you preparing for that?
I actually don't know anything about him.
You're going in there blind.
Yes, sir.
Woo!
You, like go. Of course, my coach will kind of just go see if they have any jiu-jitsu tournaments. Kind of see where their experience level is. Make sure that you can match. Make sure I'm not going against someone that's like 4 or 5-0. But now we can not a man. So really, it's just kind of me versus me. I'm really just if my wrestling sucks, that's what I'm going to work on. My boxing sucks, that's what I'm going to work on. So
Heck yeah, man. I mean, I guess at this point, just keep getting better for yourself, and then later on down the road, then do some fight tape and stuff like that. But for now, just be the best version of yourself. That sounds great. And I understand you compete outside of MMA as well, and you've been bringing home some BJJ medals.
yes, sir. I
Yeah.
did jiu-jitsu tournaments. I've been doing that very consistently. And recently, I would say started last year of January, I did my first Muay Thai smoker, and I did another one this January. So
Hell yeah, man. Do you feel
yeah, man.
like those other specific styles and competitive tournaments and everything, do you feel like that experience is gonna be transferring over to your MMA career as well?
Oh, definitely. I think when you go down there and you step on the mat, you're just like getting into competitive mentality. It kind of prepares you for that. I know it's different with MMA. You got people there, lights, camera, action. But I see a lot of people, man, and they kind of jump into this. And I feel like if you really want to prepare yourself, you should definitely go do those styles first and kind of see what you need to work on, and then hop into MMA.
No, I like it. I like it for sure. So when you're in there, do you view this as a war and your opponent is your enemy, or are you more so the mentality of like sportsmanship and this is specifically a competition? Like, how do you go in there with your mindset,
Uh, Definitely both, man. I've had a pretty hard life, so when I go in there, like it's a lot of meditation before the fight, building up to the fight, and I put myself into a dark place, and it's war. But after the end of the fight, like yeah, it's straight sportsmanship. Like we'll go have a drink. It's really just basically however he acts. If he wants to be sportsmanlike or an asshole, that's on him.
Yeah.
But
Because
but
when you fight someone, you can definitely earn the ultimate level of respect for them. Some people, they might not do it, but it does form kind of a brotherhood kind of bond after, like, dude, respect. We both went to the dark place. We both found a light there. Like that is very, I don't know. It takes a different kind of person to go to that dark place and then hold on to that light.
right,
So
more of a sport than it is a war to me. That's for sure. Or personal, I should.
so we have a saying here at EnterTheKumite. This is not a sport. You don't play fight.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you view MMA as a sport, or do you see it as something more than that?
I look at it as like a sport, like like and competitive wise, we both get out there, we're both putting something on the line, just like these football players or basketball players do. But you are right. This is not a sport, and we are going out there and putting, risking a lot, and we have a lot more injuries. Just everything behind it. It's just a lot. If we lose, we're not going to have a bunch of fans. But if football team loses, like they're always going to ride with them. Same thing with
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah, that's for
So
sure. And fighting's been around. Like it's just a part of human nature, really, rather than like, hey, let's create a sport and set rules up. Like they just started putting together fights, and then they're like, okay, we should probably make some rules after.
yeah,
you know put commissions in place, and because people can be ruthless. Was there anyone specifically that inspired you to become a fighter? Was there anyone that you saw as a young man and thought, I can do that, or I want to do that?
So it's actually pretty funny, man. I used to play the UFC game, UFC 2. And
Loved UFC 2, bro. John Jones and Gustafson on the front. Yeah, I got you.
I was a big gamer. I wasn't really into like watching TV a lot. We didn't have cable and stuff like that in my house, but so that's actually how I started with UFC, or finding out about it was the game. And then that's when I started watching it and stuff. And there was times like I think I got into like one school fight, and I I was playing with Forrest Griffin, and I did a low kick and a Superman punch. And it was just like I'm just watching it. So I was like, oh, like this is pretty cool, you know, like you can actually learn from this. But who really inspired me was my friend Matt Mooney. He was the only person I ever met that did jiu-jitsu in my area. And one day I came to work and I had a black guy because some guys jumped me. And he was like, I bet the other guys look worse. And it made me laugh. And he was like, hey, you should come to the gym with me. And I went up to his dad's gym, Mooney Boys Jiu-Jitsu, and I've never done nothing in my life. You know, maybe just a couple street fights, but other than that, no knowledge. And when he rode with me, it was so controlled. It was just like he knew what he was doing, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in my life where I could forget about the world for an hour. And like it felt like all my problems were focused. You know, like all my problems are gone, and I was just focused on something. And then when I went back, of course, I had to deal with my problems, but it was like I had a level head at that point. And now it's like that every day. And like now, one day I had another incident where I was like getting a little bit too angry, and I was kind of wanting to control it. And I was like, let me go hit up an MMA gym, see kind of where this takes me. And from there, like it just took my life away. It became an obsession.
So it all started with jiu-jitsu, huh?
Yes, sir. All jiu-jitsu.
I mean, jiu-jitsu was, you know, when you break down all the martial arts and you separate them all by like just what the fundamentals teach them, jiu-jitsu came out on top. You know, jiu-jitsu was one of the biggest, you know, contributors to the evolution of MMA. You know, like it completely changed the game. But yeah, I remember the first time, you know, I walked into a jiu-jitsu gym, and these guys are so graceful. They're so graceful. They do it so effortlessly because they're just using technique, you know, and as a white belt who knew nothing, you're trying to like overpower them, and they're getting their butterfly hooks in and rolling you all over the place. I mean, really, I feel like everybody should have an understanding of jiu-jitsu, because if you don't, like it's like not understanding the rules of chess. You know,
Right.
you really can't play the game if you don't know the rules.
Okay.
And so like if you go in there as a white belt, like you just can't even take part when it comes down to it. It's not even fair. And when you get on your back, you're just flail like a fish because you don't know what to do at all.
My time doing jiu-jitsu, it was actually funny, but he was like, go roll with this girl. And I think this girl was like 11 years old maybe. And I was like 22. And man, she tore me up from the takedown. I was like, what's going on here? I have this little, she's probably like 50 pounds, and she just beating me up, man.
Oh man, that's rough, dude. They did it as a joke too. They were memeing on you, bro. Yeah, I've been tapped out by girls. I've been tapped out by elderly men. I mean, I got tapped out by Moeller. I used to train at Moeller's MMA down in Deep Ellum.
I've been there.
Yeah, dude, 70, built like a brick shit house. He fireman tossed me over. Man, that dude had his way with me. It was crazy, and it definitely earned like immediate respect, you know. So I like to ask in all of my interviews just one particular question, because I feel like it says a lot about someone without having to ask too many questions. Why fighting? You know, it's a path that really challenges the limits of your spirit and your self-confidence, you know. So what gets you up in the morning and you know made you want to pursue a career such as that?
Once upon a time in my hometown, I was not a very liked person, and I had a lot of bad role models in my life. And I was probably at my lowest, doing drugs, selling drugs, being in prison, not being in my daughter's life. As you can tell, obviously, I'm in her life now.
Yeah, I love this picture behind you. Yeah.
And I've been getting in trouble since I was 15 years old. And I remember my mom and dad come and look at me behind the glass and talk to me, as well as my sister, talking to them on the phone. And it was emotional, man. Those days, I didn't know how much longer I would take. And yeah, so it makes it pretty easy walking in a cage when I've already been locked in a cage. And it definitely makes it easy whenever my parents and family have already seen me at my lowest and are so proud of me of what I'm doing now. So that's pretty much what wakes me up every day is I know where I can be. Because I didn't have once I walked into an MMA gym, it's like I found my journey. I found my life. I was like, I belong. And it was more like, regardless if I win or lose, like this is who I am now. So took me over in that way for sure.
Yeah, I really feel like it helps us to grow and better ourselves as people when we have a path. Like sometimes you just got to pick, because when we're kind of wandering around, like we can do, I'm kind of good at this, I'm kind of good at this, like it leaves so many holes in our life that, we end up just kind of self-destructing a little bit. So you picked a path, you're sticking with it, and I like it, man. So a lot of people believe that someone's ancestry can influence their determination and particular skill sets. Do you think there's any truth to that? And do you think your ancestry has equipped you with any specific attributes to help make you the warrior you are today?
Man, honestly, I really don't even know my ancestors like that. My family's not really big. I'm like the true definition of a mixed race. I'm a white, Mexican, Spanish, Native American. I'm all the above. I never really fit in with a group. I come from a very segregated area where whites are with whites, blacks are with blacks, Mexicans are with Mexicans. And yeah, I never really fit in on either side.
I like it, man. Do you think civilization and the adaptations that your environment, forces you to adjust to, do you think that, can help make you the warrior that you are today then?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, man. Whenever you feel lost like that, I feel like you're always going to try and fight to find yourself.
I like it, man. Where are you going? Where do you see yourself being in the next 5 to 10 years? And if you could choose any MMA organization to be a part of, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. 5 to 10 years, I'm only going to be in my 30s. So technically I'll be in my prime. I don't plan on stopping until I'm in my 40s at least. And then I'll do the whole first life. So I plan on being a professional fighter. Plan on branding myself, promoting myself better than what most people do. That's where I see a lot of failure and money. As if promotion wise, man, I'm not gonna lie, one championship, I really like how they're handling things, and they have a lot of little people. They have a 115 division, they have a 125 division that's big. They got some Muay Thai going on. I think the only thing I'd probably want to work on is maybe the steroid incident, because I'm all natural, baby.
Yeah, I do like how ONE FC is doing it. They're getting a lot of eyes on the sport right now by just putting up videos on YouTube, kind of a clickbaity headline where they kind of give you the spoiler of the fight, but you still don't know who they're talking about, so you have to click on it to see. Yeah, I've definitely been watching a lot of ONE FC. I think PFL has a really good formula. I like the competitive bracket tournament style. It's very unbiased when it comes to styles and, a promotion or lack of promotion of fighters. And if as a quote unquote nobody, you can come in, you can win that tournament and put your name on the map right then. You don't have to spend years and years and years trying to build a name, to really get that money, So I do like the PFL. I don't like the PFL doesn't allow for elbows. I feel like that takes away a big, that's a big flaw for an MMA organization. I don't know, man. And ONE FC, I like that they took it to the next level and they allowed knees to the grounded opponent, I think that that's a good idea. I don't think that they're so dangerous that they need to be illegal. But that's just me. I'm not in there. So, and then, UFC is definitely regarded like whoever's, for the most part, save maybe a couple divisions, that is arguable. And the UFC definitely, if you're the champion of this division and you're in the UFC, you're probably the best in the world, and they still have that kind of high regard with them. But yeah, which one did you say you would go for?
Doesn't PFL do like seasons and stuff?
Yeah, they have off seasons and yeah.
Honestly, man, I feel like everyone's UFC right now for ESPN. You know, obviously, I would like to go to the UFC one day. I mean, everyone watches it. That's making it to a platform, and you get to build yourself up. So obviously, UFC is always going to be the top goal right now. But if we're talking money wise, it would probably definitely be PFL or one championship. PFL, I like the idea that they give you $1 million if you win the bracket. So that's like straight. That makes you want to fight. I don't know.
Right. Right. You don't have to build up for years to get to that $1 million, you know. Yeah, if you're a champion in the UFC, you might start making $1 million per fight or, you know, $500,000 per fight. But PFL, you can walk in there and just win it all right there. And then your name is on the map and you got $1 million. Yeah, that does sound really nice.
Sure.
Do you have any shout outs or do you have anything you want to say to the people tuning in to watch your fights, man?
Yeah, you know, just like always, I'm definitely gonna thank my sponsors. Always, man. Like I said, having people behind you, willing to put, you know, that believe in you, that's a different type of motivation. Honestly, I didn't even know so many people believe in me, been watching me, been paying attention to me like that. It's been kind of like just all by myself doing this. I'm in a gym by myself. I'm in my head by myself. I'm doing everything by myself. So, yeah, man, all my sponsors, thank y'all so much. I love y'all. I can't thank y'all. Man, I wish I can give you all a big old hug. But my team, definitely, man. I'm always putting in work with them. They're always putting in work with me. I could hit them up in a group chat right now and be like, hey, I have a Shark Tank. You know, how many people can I have as a volunteer? And they're all going to show up and be like, let's get you to win. And I'm the same way with them. You know, I'm always over there helping them out as well. So we have a lot of guys that's been fighting this year already. And it's only more to come. We're going to put our name on the map. So shout out to my team. We're going to do it this year. And shout out to my coaches, family, friends, and definitely my daughter. My daughter doesn't know how much of a big motivation she is to me. But every day it's kind of like a WWE, you know, ladder match. And she's in the middle. And I'm like, I got to get past life for me and my little girl. So, yeah, man, I'd like to thank every single one of them.
Oh, yeah, man. She a little BJJ prodigy in the making?
She is, man. She is. She a little fight.
That's awesome, dude. Well, hey, man, it was nice getting to sit down and get to know you better. Yeah, I'm really excited to see you fight. See what you got.
Yeah, man.
I like your personality. I like your mindset coming into it, you know. But I'm definitely looking forward to watching it. I'm gonna be there. Trent Soto, ladies and gentlemen, don't miss out. He's got a fight coming up against Seth James at XKO 55 on February 18th at the Statler. Thank you, everyone, for entering the Kumite with us here today. Remember, guys, this is not a sport. You don't play fight.
Thank y'all.